Tonight on News 5 Live, gang members bring police right to their front door with viral gun video. Woman dead in Armenia after family beatdown. KHMH returns to full COVID-19 mode, and protests continue following shooting death of 14-year-old visitor to Placencia. These stories and more coming up next on News 5 Live.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere. Satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customer's experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSB, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
It's time to put your TVs on lockdown. COVID won't stop us this time. After a year of waiting, Summerfest is back, pandemic style. If you're under the age of 18 and you think you have the talent, we are looking for you. Submit videos to us on Facebook, Instagram, and email. Or join us here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive to audition from July 26th to 30th from 10 a.m. to midday. Be a part of Summerfest 2021 and show Belize your talent.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, July 19th. I am Brighton Codd. 5 Belize City men, including a well-known underworld figure, have been charged for what is quickly becoming a social media trend: gang members flaunting deadly weapons during a live stream. Beyond flourishing the illegal handguns is the fact that they were each equipped with extended cartridges that are equally prohibited. The disturbing video of Brandon Baptist and his associates has gone viral, and tonight they have all been hit with a battery of charges stemming from firearm and gang-related offenses. Those men are Joseph James, John Greenidge Jr., Sheldon Greenidge, Brandon Baptist, and Hubert Baptist. Under the Crime Control and Criminal Justice Act, a raid was conducted after which the men were charged with producing a video recording to gang-related activity and being a member of a gang. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
3 months ago, when reputed street figure Brandon Baptist accepted a weed whacker from the Belize Police Department, it was an open gesture that he was also renouncing gang activity. It was him turning over a new leaf and receiving the full support of Dr. Richard Rosado, officer commanding Eastern Division.
We believe that the employment that center around at-risk youths can decrease these youths' likelihood in being on the streets and involvement in gang-related violence or criminal behavior. We also believe that it can also help them to develop that sense of responsibility, and it's a form of financial incentive for them. I see today as a good day, a good example of how the business community can collaborate with us.
The idea was that with the string trimmer, Baptist would create employment not only for himself, but also for his friends on Police Street. But something happened that has since rendered the transformation short-lived. Over the weekend, a video clip began circulating on social media. In it are 5 men, including Baptist, wielding illegal firearms.
That was sent to me yesterday by several friends, people who are concerned that these type of weapons are in the streets. And I wouldn't be comfortable because, of course, their identity are makeable. I wouldn't be comfortable knowing that someone that lives in my neighborhood has a weapon like that that could cause serious damages if used, no?
What they are seen brandishing, among other weapons, is a 9mm handgun with a 50-round drum magazine. It's a prohibited piece of detachable container for additional bullets, considerably more than what the average pistol holds.
We at the police department view this very seriously, and we have investigators looking, searching for these persons, and we are asking the general public. I mean, no bullet has an owner until it makes its mark. And we are asking you, we do not know whose life these could affect. But of course, you know, one bullet could change several lives. And if we tolerate these people to operate in this kind of fashion where they can boast on social media and about carrying these weapons.
In another recording that has also been released to the internet, a group of young men can be seen in what appears to be a video shoot. They are also showing off several handguns. The extras on the set, presumably affiliated with one of the Belize City gangs, are emulating what has become a popular scene where weapons are waved in front of the camera.
For their sake, I'm hoping that they're imitation firearms. But of course, we know that nobody would make a video brandishing imitation firearms out there. But if these culprits are caught, then we will know exactly how to deal with them. But like I said, it has to be a community effort for us to get these people.
Your response is not nearly enough in terms of what should or can be done with these individuals. You have a video where multiple young men are either shooting a music video scene or whatsoever it is, but they have live weapons. As a matter of fact, in one video they're seen emptying out the bullets onto the ground, so you know that those are live weapons. Where does an investigation begin from? Because you're seeing the faces, you're seeing the weapons, that should be sufficient.
Like you are saying, and I agree, we have seen the video, and like I said, we are investigating it. I am not here to tell you what methods we are using. The fact remains, from the moment that we are investigating it, is because it is of great concern. The methods that we use will be kept within the department, and whatever we do, you, the public, will know, because we will not keep that from you.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Around 6:30 this morning, Corozal police responded to the community center in Jaiba village where they discovered the lifeless body of 44-year-old Feliciano Sol. When the officers investigated the incident, they learned that Sol had been drinking with some friends around 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. When it began raining an hour later, the men proceeded to the nearby community center where they sought shelter. Later on that day, the men reportedly left Sol in a stupor. It wasn't until this morning that his motionless body was found at the same location. Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood shared a few details with the media this morning.
The information that was passed down to me is that when police arrived at an area near the community center, they saw the body of Feliciano Cristino Zul, 43 years. No signs of violence, but he was in a crouched position, seated position on the ground. We know that they haven't observed any obvious sign of physical violence, but Like I said, they are still processing that scene, and hopefully by the end of today we will get a formal report from them.
A sizable haul of contraband liquor, soft drinks, and food items was made over the weekend in San Victor Village, where Aldo Cobb was subsequently arrested. When a team of customs and police officers visited Cobb's home, they discovered a stash of beer, cigarettes, and soft drinks hidden in an underground space beneath a bedroom. Here's more from ASP Fitzroy Yearwood.
They visited residents in San Victor Village, the residence of Aldo Cobb, where they made a large catch, 16 cases of Tecate beers, 24 bottles. They also had 25 cases of Superior beers. We had Miami Menthol cigarettes, something like 7 cartons. And we had 4 cases of Big Cola soft drinks, all contraband items. A case of 2.5 liters. We had 2 cases of Sprite, the 6 bottles, 2.5 liter also. We had the large colas, the Coca-Cola, 2.5 liter, 4 bottles. Del Valle juice. We also had black beans, like 2 sacks of flour also. All these were discovered in what appeared to be, I know people like to call it bunker, but it's a room below a room. When they removed the bed, they found a manhole. That was the entrance for a 7 feet depth, 5 feet wide. Looks like a storeroom or a store. Of course, Mr. Cobb was detained, pending charges, and he was issued with a receipt that he signed acknowledging what was found at his house. No?
Coming up, the National Referral Hospital goes back into full COVID mode. What you need to know about the latest cases and symptoms after the break.
We all find ourselves reminiscing on life before COVID-19. Roaming freely, embracing without concern, laughing and enjoying the splendors of life. My, how we miss those times. It's time to get vaccinated so we can all start doing the things we love with the people we love in the safest possible manner once again. Digi, Mayona Resorts, and the Ministry of Health encourages all Belizeans to get your first and second vaccine for chances to win tons of awesome prizes now through September 30th. Win free LTE data packages every week, cash prizes, and a free 1-year mobile postpaid plan each month courtesy of Digi. Plus a weekend family getaway at a Mayono Gold Standard Resort each month courtesy Mayona Resorts. Winners will be posted on Digi Facebook and Instagram and Ministry of Health's Facebook every Friday starting June 25th. Visit a vaccination center nearest you today. Get vaccinated and win. Visit livedigi.com for more details.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include cath lab, adult intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun, for a truly personal medical care experience.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels, powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Over the last few weeks, COVID-19 positive cases have been increasing drastically, pushing the country into its third wave of the pandemic. The overall positivity rate is up to 8.4, and there are now 332 deaths associated with COVID-19 in Belize. Going into the weekend, there were 8 active hospitalizations, 1 admitted to the COVID-19 intensive care unit. The Carl Huesner Memorial Hospital has suspended some of its services to adequately respond to the increasing COVID-19 numbers. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Going into the weekend, there were 298 active COVID-19 cases, and that number is expected to increase as at least one variant of the virus has been detected in the country. With an increase in transmissibility, in the Belize district alone, the numbers have almost tripled.
In Central Region, over the last week and a half, we have been seeing an increase in cases compared to over the last few months. In fact, I think that in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've gone from 52 active cases, and to date, we have 135 active cases in the Belize district. So the number has definitely increased significantly. And of course, that's a concern for us here at the Ministry of Health. A lot of the cases, definitely there are close contacts that have come back positive. We do know, and we've noticed a trend for a few weeks ever since the minister had announced that we do have variants of concern. And we do believe that definitely with the variants, we would see an increase in cases because with the variants, they are more transmissible by over 60% of the normal COVID strain.
Deputy Regional Health Manager Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa explains the reality on the ground as public health officers conduct contact tracing.
Over the recent weeks, we've noticed that entire households or even at workplaces, sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 staff members who come back positive. Now we're seeing if you have 15 staff members, 10 may be positive. So definitely one of the variants of concern is probably attributing to the increase of cases we're seeing in the Belize district.
Starting today, the KHMH will be in emergency mode as they ramp up their response to the rise in COVID-19 cases. During this time, elective surgeries will be on hold until further notice. There will be no outpatient clinics, and visitors' policy has been readjusted to restrict the number of persons in the facility. The National Referral Hospital has once again been transformed to guarantee the best patient care and outcomes in response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We work very closely with the KHMH. Of course, the difference with Central Health Region is that KHMH is both our secondary and tertiary referral hospital, whereas other regions have their secondary hospital in the district. So on a daily basis, at least 3 to 4 times a day, I'm in communication with their epidemiologists, with A&E staff. We continuously try to exchange information. We do contact tracing together as well. So we definitely have a very close and good working relationship with KHMH. Quite a few of the cases are from the Belize district. It's important to note as well that the cases that are more unwell are cases that of unvaccinated persons.
While there has been an uptake in vaccinations across the country, Belize is in its third wave. There have been a number of deaths recorded over the last week, and Dr. Diaz-Musa says that the vaccine saves lives.
At this point, access is not a problem. For the Belize district, we have 2 or 3 main sites, or we have 2 sites, especially Swift Hall and Central Health Region, that we are here vaccinating every single day. We've started to open Central Health Region site on a Saturday morning as well. So if you can't make it during the week, please take the opportunity and come out and get your vaccine Saturday morning. And we're also doing numerous outreach. We're going to the River Valley, we're going to businesses, we're going to areas, for instance, by the Civic Center, we're there this morning. So we're trying to ensure that access is not a problem, that wherever you live or however you commute, you're able to find one of our sites and get your vaccine done.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
It has been confirmed that at least one COVID-19 variant is in Belize, but which one has still not been yet determined, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness is awaiting results from Baylor College, where samples have been sent. There is speculation that it may be the Delta variant. While symptoms associated with COVID-19 were along the lines of a sore throat and loss of taste and smell, a recently circulated post speaks about new symptoms to look out for with the Delta variant. Among those symptoms are diarrhea, long-lasting headache, vomiting, and blocked and runny nose. Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa says that even if you have mild symptoms, you can transmit the virus, so don't be afraid to get tested.
From the pandemic had started, we do know that the symptoms were very similar. Some people have varied symptoms. Some people may have very mild symptoms like a runny nose, loss of taste, loss of smell. And some people go on to develop significant symptoms, chest pain, shortness of breath, reduction of oxygen level in the lungs, pneumonia, and other things as we know. But at this point, the message we're trying to get out there is don't assume that you have a little cold or it's just the flu. Please get tested. Don't look at it as something that's a punishment, or look at it as something that if you are able to be detected early, you can protect your family, you can isolate early, and you can get early management, which will help you to recover much earlier as well.
While SI 74 puts in place quarantine regulations to mitigate the spread of the virus, Dr. Diaz-Musa implores residents to adhere to social distancing guidelines and to act responsibly.
The virus moves when we move. The advice for us here at the Belize District, let's try our best to not do any unnecessary movement. Adherence to the public health measures has also been very effective. And we know that people have let down their guards a bit, even in workplaces, in the homes. Let's go back to that. Let's keep our public health measures in place. Keep your mask over your nose and mouth. Keep your social distancing. Let's take on that personal responsibility as well in order to ensure that we keep this outbreak, or we control this outbreak and keep our numbers down as best as possible.
Section 11.1 of Statutory Instrument Number 74 that was passed earlier this month has drawn concerns among some government workers who do not want to take the COVID-19 vaccine. The new SI requires all frontline workers to get vaccinated or provide a negative COVID test result every 2 weeks, starting August 1st. A number of these employees have expressed via social media that the requirement will place undue burden to their pockets if they have to foot the expense of these tests, especially at a time when they are on a 10% salary cut. But under subsection 3 of that requirement, any frontline worker who fails to comply with this regulation will be considered absent from work and subject to disciplinary action in tandem with any law that regulates the services that they render. Word reaching News 5 is that the Ministry of Health and Wellness might be reviewing this requirement, but there are no details laid out just yet. Since this is something that would likely have to be considered by Cabinet, it remains to be seen if anything changes this week, with July quickly coming to an end. At last check, the lowest price for a COVID test was $100 within the government healthcare system and $150 at private hospitals. The test is administered free, however, to people who have flu-like symptoms and go to public clinics for treatment. A mother of 3 children died over the weekend, and tonight details continue to emerge about the circumstances surrounding her sudden death, and her husband and 3 women are in police custody tonight. Today, News 5 traveled to outskirts of Belmopan to find out more about the last hours of Jessica Chuck's life.
The death of 23-year-old Jessica H. Chuck has left her family searching for clues. But what we know tonight is that the mother of 3 is dead less than 24 hours after she was beaten up by her relatives. Today, with tears in her eyes, Epifania H. remembered her daughter as always being happy.
She is a lovely person and you never hear no time you see her and she begs. She always happy when she home with the kids, with the husband.
Here's what we know about the last 24 hours before Jessica Chuck died. On Friday night, she was at this yard in Armenia Village along with her husband, Alberta Chuck, his 2 sisters, and another couple. But before midnight, a fight started between the couple. The family alleges that Alberta Chuck may have been romantically involved with the woman, and he reportedly tried to break up that fight. But that's when the man turned on him. Jessica Chuck reportedly tried to defend her husband. Yesenia Chuck witnessed that fight. Yesenia Chuck is married to Alberta Chuck's brother. She alleges that Jessica Chuck was never physically beaten by her husband. Instead, she says it was the 2 sisters-in-law, as well as the other woman at the yard, who attacked Jessica. This video captured on cell phone revealed an argument in the Mopan Maya language, allegedly between Jessica and the women. That fight left Jessica Chuck injured.
The sister, Miss Maria Chuck, of the husband for Jessica, she came and she told Jessica, you're the one I've been waiting for. She said like that. I want you, I need you. Then from there, she went on top of Jessica and she tried to slap her. So
she basically told her that she's waiting to fight with her.
Yeah, that's what she said. And Jessica did not like when she gets slapped, so she grabbed Maria on her blouse, and you know how women fight, the pulling of hair and all of that. So the other sister, Alberta Chuck, both of them and her sister Maria, they went on top of Jessica and they tried to fight with her and pulling her hair and stuff like that. So the husband of the deceased person came between them. And yes, he was drinking, but he was not drunk to say that he maybe was lost. So he came, he held Jessica and tried to separate them. But the other woman, they did not want just the husband to help his wife. So Alberta Chuck came, she grabbed Jessica and she slammed her on the floor. Both women, they went on top of Jessica, and I only see that Alberta Chuck went and kneel on top of Jessica, choke her, and slam her head on the floor.
Did her husband beat her at all during the process?
Well, her husband did not do her anything, but I guess she thought that it was her husband who hit her, but it's not her husband, because her husband, yes, grabbed her on her shoulder and tried to separate them from the other woman, from his sisters. And also the sweetheart was in it as well.
You are not protecting him?
No, I'm not protecting him, because if he do something, like I tell my husband he need to pay for what he does, but if he does not do anything, only try to separate his wife and from his sisters, he does not deserve to go and pay for what he do not do.
Did those two women have issues with Jessica a long time, or did they used to fight, argue?
Well, I guess maybe they argued, because Jessica usually told me that when she passed them along the sweetheart as well, they throw phrases and they try to attack her, but like how Jessica, she just ignores them. She don't want to get into trouble.
Did you see Jessica with any large injuries? Did you see her with bruises? Did you see...
Well, in the morning, like how she went at that house over there, in the morning she wake up, and after that I only see her mouth a little bit swell and some scratches on her neck, and she told me that her stomach is hurting her, her back.
And it was that Saturday morning that Jessica Chuck visited her mother's house on Florida Street in Las Flores. There, she told her mother that her husband and her in-laws had physically assaulted her. She reported that incident to police and then reportedly went to the hospital for medical attention. But by 10:30 that Saturday night, she was dead.
Like around 10 o'clock, she wake up, she started to move in the house and move in the house. Then she came to me and she gave me one. She gave me she phone. She said, this phone is for me. Then after that, she said, make her mind for she kids. Then only that she told me, then she gone back, lay down on the hammock. Then maybe 25 to 30 minutes she lay down, she called me, Mom. Then she waved her hand, and I go and sit, and she just hold my hand. She take 3 breaths, and then she don't pass away.
Do you think the injuries she sustained in the fight were the cause of her death?
I don't know. I debate the wild and the topic what they must say. That I debate for. I can't say that I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we wait the how do you call them? Yes, that we wait.
Did she indicate to you that she was depressed, maybe sad, that she would do something to harm herself?
I don't know. She not tell me that. Only she tell me about. She not tell me only like she feels sad. Only that. She not tell me nothing.
I think she would hurt herself, kill herself.
No. She can't kill herself because she not do that.
But today the family revealed that Jessica Chuck, for the most part, lived a happy life with her husband. They have been together for 8 years and there was no report of abuse. But Jessica also had health complications. And so the family says that they want to wait for the results of the post-mortem to find out exactly what caused her death.
Then live happy. Before then when they start to the girl start to get a sweetheart then, but she's never abused my daughter from that time there until when they end up this in a fight that. But they know the husband, she have lungs problem, he have stomatitis and heart problem, with they want catch a heart attack or something. So that she have the last baby. The husband, he don't tell them already. She talk to the husband, and he don't tell the husband what is the problem she have.
Do you think that fight could have caused her stress, could have perhaps triggered her condition?
I don't know.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
After the break, a teenager remembered the vigil in Placencia when we come back. But first, here is a look at the latest COVID-19 figures. This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
trimming the hedges and overgrown trees, packing food supplies, ensuring that you have medical supplies and important documents are all part of your hurricane preparations. But what about your home insurance? An insurance policy with RF&G Insurance gives you the confidence that your home and possessions are protected when a natural disaster strikes. Include RF&G in your hurricane plans and join the thousands of Belizeans who have learned why it pays to get it right. RF&G Insurance is a go-to company.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime, while with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
It's time to put your TVs on lockdown. COVID won't stop us this time. After a year of waiting, Summerfest is back, pandemic style. If you're under the age of 18 and you think you have the talent, we are looking for you. Submit videos to us on Facebook, Instagram, and email. Or join us here at Channel 5 on Coney Drive to audition from July 26th to 30th from 10 a.m. to midday. Be a part of Summerfest 2021 and show Belize your talent.
The post-mortem examination conducted on Laddie Gillett, who was killed in Placentia on July 14, has determined the cause of death to be hypervolemic shock, internal exsanguinations due to a single gun wound to the chest. Laddie's death has therefore been ruled as a homicide. One doctor clarified with a media house that for autopsy purposes, the chest is considered the entire thorax, including the anterior, posterior, and lateral chest. Those results were released just before news time, but on Sunday night, family members and sympathizers gathered in Belize City to ask that charges be upgraded and send home the message. They want justice for Laddie. Here's a report on the event from Marion Ali.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
The chant for justice for Laddie Gillett was made symbolically across from the Supreme Court building in the Battlefield Park in Belize City on Sunday night. A group of 25 persons, led by social activist Moses Sulf and others, implored the Director of Public Prosecution's office to upgrade the charge against the boy's accused killer, Police Corporal Karim Martinez, from manslaughter to that of murder.
We don't believe that manslaughter should have been the charge. We basically believe that manslaughter is a free ticket, a ticket to freedom. This is what it is telling me in my mind. My son can be shot in his back, running away, and the person who kills him, when my son is gone, the person who murders my son will be given bail, which will eventually lead to them possibly getting a suspended sentence or seeing no jail time.
I'm sending this to the DPP. Whoever she or he is, I don't know. But, please just upgrade the charge to murder. Laddie deserves justice, just like how Mr. Allison Major deserved justice, the same way how Mr. Farid Ahmad deserved justice. And I believe Laddie's situation was totally atrocious, totally reckless, totally worthless, of that officer. And then for be more about it, you get charged for manslaughter. When you give a warning shot to this young man, you just aim at this target. I know for sure they always say, give a warning shot. You not aim at a 14-year-old. What a 14-year-old could do with his back turned to you.
We have to learn to stand our grounds and walk for we talk. When we say we will do something, do it. And when time call the backup, we need to stop back up and stand for we ground. Stand our ground. Stand for we ground and fight. Because when we fight, God fighted we. And we fight for we rights.
While the protesters lashed out against what they feel is a quote-unquote free ticket for the accused policeman, they are clear that they are not anti-police, but simply anti-police abuse. One of the protesters, auxiliary nurse Indira Cayetano, also criticized Belizeans for not taking their fight further than the social media platform.
Beliezer will always be beliezer, and there will be this, advocate on Facebook, but when it comes to stepping out, you can see the small amount of girls that who wants to support and wants this brutality to end.
But the public outrage on social media over the killing and the subsequent charge of manslaughter was also accompanied by accusations against the youth's biological family who gave him up for adoption as an infant. They are accused now of using his death to make financial gains. Laddie's mother, Linda Gillett, did not want to speak at the rally, but her brother, Henry Pulumusa Gillett, gave his family's side on Sunday.
People post a lot of stupidness on social media, but we don't have time to follow it up. People want to say what they want. People say, oh, my sister take $25,000 for his son. The person they offer some money, I explained to them, no, my son is not for sale. I am doing this because I am in a situation right now, but here what was the agreement? I want a better life for my son, to the person who he give unto, and I want to be a part of my son's life. The last time my sister see his son, he said I want him 4 years old for his birthday. After he's 4 years old, he got back another 2 months after. The people they tell her, the son is not here, he's in America. People holler about, we to use this to try hustle money. Miss, me 40, me never see that money there in 40 years. And I could put my head on the block right now. I never yet see my sister here or know they have that kind of money there.
Reporting for News 5, I am Marion Ali.
He was visiting their community on a family vacation last Wednesday when he was killed, allegedly by a police corporal. On Sunday night, villagers in Placentia gathered to pay their respects for a young life gone too soon and to air their feelings about rising crime and police response in their community.
It was a somber gathering in Placentia on Sunday night. Among the protesters was a group of children who held up placards and candles in honor of Laddie Gillett. The protest was organized by former Placentia Belize Tourism Industry Association Director Elid Dial, who says she heard the gunshot that killed Laddie.
I heard when it happened. I live in the area, and the fact when I woke up the next morning and found out that somebody had been killed really threw me for a loop. The peninsula it's big. And there are a lot of police here. I don't know. I mean, it's different. Like everywhere else, Placentia is growing. They need more police here, but they need better trained police. I feel like, obviously, that wasn't the way it should have been dealt with.
The crowd gathered in front of the Placentia police station. Officers stood by or sat in golf carts as onlookers of the peaceful protest.
Now, the approach from you get a phone call, it's not the same adrenaline rush, it's not the same suspicion, it's not the same reaction will going to take place. We're approaching a little more aggressive than normal. The situation with that, I guess the officer is doing it broadcastly. With the surroundings that's happening. You see a lot of rude boy, gang, red, blue, hanging out. Pants here, tattoos. We're not discriminating, but they needed to uplift the security in advance to this. I don't want this to be an example because it's sad, right? Yep. Now, an innocent kid got killed. I want to see what level it will be pertaining to this. I'm touched.
Me too.
I had to discipline my daughter for posting an aggressive post towards the police. I beg her, please, take it down. That's not the approach, right? But the mindset that it gives people, innocent people, is tough.
He was above my class. He was very into sports, and just to know that he died makes me really sad.
When was the last time you saw him?
Just a few days ago, we were at the river swimming, and I can't believe it.
A second protest is scheduled in Placencia for tonight. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
As protests continue in person and on social media, following the shooting death of Laddie Gillett, News 5 sought legal opinion on the manslaughter charge against the alleged shooter, Police Corporal Kareem Martinez. Here is what attorney Darrell Bradley told us.
Justice does not mean that we are rash in going to judgment. We have to let the investigative process unfold, and we have to see where that investigation lies and what will be the result of that. I said earlier that Belize is a country of laws. So that something very tragic has occurred. The police has taken steps. The officer has been, I understand, put on remand, and he has been put on interdiction, and he has been criminally charged. The charge is manslaughter. I know that many persons may not be satisfied with that particular charge, but again, I suspect that that charge would have been arrived at based on all the circumstances. And one of the things that people in the public have to appreciate is that police officers are authorized to use force, and they're authorized to use lethal force in certain circumstances. So of course, it has to be reasonable, it cannot be excessive, and it has to comport with principles of the rule of law. All exercise of public authority, including those of the police, have to be scrutinized. But a police officer is discharging their functions according to law, and they're carrying out something that is lawfully provided for. Clearly, in the circumstances when somebody is losing their lives, again, I'm not very intimate in terms of the circumstances of the particular case, but if you're shooting somebody in their back, that of course tells a certain story in relation to what was the position of the individuals. I don't want to second guess the police or the Office of Director of Public Prosecution in relation to why the charge was manslaughter, but I do suspect that it had to do with the circumstances of the particular case. This would have happened in the nighttime or early morning hours in the cloud of darkness. Police officer would have had to make a split-second judgment. Unfortunately, I believe that that judgment was wrong, but in the circumstances of it, it is not as if you have a situation where it's a cold-blooded murder.
A community activist from out west has weighed in on Laddie Gillett's death. Julian Sherrard is currently the chairman of the San Ignacio Police Advisory Board, working alongside the department for over 2 decades. He now finds himself in a difficult position because he's also a close family friend of Laddie's legal guardian, and his children were friends with Laddie. Sherrard made an appearance on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes this morning.
I met with my kids around the family table, and my wife and I, we talked with them, and I told them, I said, not all police officers are bad. I said, I used painters, we're in the business of art with Orange Gallery. And I said, Cayo has a number of painters. And if one of those painters, poked somebody in the eye with his paintbrush or shot somebody or something, would we say that all painters are bad? No, not all painters, not all artists are bad because one or two do something. And when you have about 1,800 police officers, you're bound to have this sort of thing happen. And I had to explain to them that, like I told you, these officers joined the department. Most of them joined because they have the goodness of people at heart. Now, over time, a great old friend of mine told me something very important. He was a special constable here in San Ignacio, and he served for many, many years, donating his car and fuel and everything he could. He was always there for the San Ignacio police formation. And he said to me that policemen are like garbage men. And I hate to put those two together, but you'll understand why. A garbage man may start out the morning fresh and smelling lovely. He might have taken a shower with a nice soap or something, and he comes out and he's just, ready to go. But in picking up garbage all day long, I guarantee you by the end of the day, you know what he smells like. He smells like garbage. And a police officer is very similar. A police officer is dealing a lot of the time with the scum of the earth, people who are awful human beings. And it's no wonder that at the end of the day, this starts to weigh them down. And at the end of the month, and at the end of the year, and at the end of 10 years, they're carrying this terrible load. And we don't have, unfortunately, enough psychologists or people in the department to help. We don't have enough chaplains to listen to and to have a system, an organized system, especially when a particular police officer has gone through a trauma. The poor officer who shot Laddie, I am sure, due to a lack of training and over exuberance for his job, made that mistake in that split second. And I'm sure he'll regret it for the rest of his life. His life is ruined.
Laddie's aunt also had to process how to tell her teenage children that he had been shot and killed by police. Sharon Main told Open Your Eyes host that she tried to balance telling them the truth and maintaining their respect for the police.
At the first beginning, I processed the information and I wanted to lie to them, to be honest. I wasn't sure if telling them the truth would have been too gruesome. And after thinking a while, I realized that I cannot hold back the truth from these children. They are not babies anymore. They will hear it on social media. They will hear it on the street. And I decided that telling them the truth about what happened will be better in the longer run. And so I sat down with them and I told them this is what happened. Laddie's no longer with us. There was something happened in Placencia while he was there with his uncle Emil, and he got shot by a police officer. My son, he couldn't understand. He said, "Mommy, but that cannot be true. Police officers are there to protect us. That cannot be true. Was it an accident? What happened?" And I told him what happened, and right away he had this feeling in his heart towards policemen. And I said, "Tay, these policemen are there to protect us, and no matter what happened today, last night, we should have respect for police officers at all times. We need to find out what really happened. And I don't want you to have this feeling at all about police officers. They are the law. They're there to protect us. And this unfortunate occurrence just happened, and we need to find out what happened."
Just ahead, the BNTU takes GOB to court over salaries. Details of the first case that began today when we return.
What is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, as defined by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is said to be the process of our planet heating up. The Earth has warmed by an average of 1 degree Celsius in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means big things for humans and wildlife around the globe. Rising temperatures is making our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Some impacts of climate change in Belize are flooding, drought, unstable weather patterns, and changes in seasons that affect agriculture, human, and wildlife activities. What is REDD+? REDD+ is a mitigation activity to reduce carbon emissions and increase carbon stock in the forest sector. The name REDD+ stands for Reducing Emission from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, plus Conservation, Sustainable Management of Forest and Carbon Stock Enhancement. How can REDD+ be a solution? Trees breathe the greenhouse gases we produce. We can start caring more for our forests by planting more trees and keeping our landscapes intact. Our forests are part of the solution. Also, by encouraging the adoption of sustainable forest management in Belize, we can help restore forests that have been lost.
Forests are linked to all aspects of human well-being.
think about the clean air that forests provide, that oxygen that we breathe. If it wasn't so clean, especially during that fire season, we would actually be facing a lot of problems. So breathing clean air is something that we may take for granted, but it's actually something that forest provides and that contributes to our health and happiness. One of the advantages of doing things associated with REDD+ in Belize is that it actually is a great mechanism for us to be able to maintain forests while at the same time sustainably using them and keeping all the services and goods that the forest provides to us intact, for example, water. At night, it's the trees and the plants in the forest that actually release that water that goes up in the atmosphere and eventually comes back as rain. If we don't have forests, that water is gone. If we think about our food security and the food that we eat, the agriculture industry and how important it is for Belize, we don't necessarily associate it sometimes with actual forests. But it's those forests that actually feed the soil organisms that cycle the nutrients and make our soils fertile. It's those forests that are a house and home for pollinators that pollinate our crops. And it's those forests that maintain the water that our agricultural areas need to thrive. Otherwise, we would be subject to things like droughts.
There is hope with REDD+.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
The Belize National Teachers Union is fighting a legal battle against GOB's 10% salary cut, and Vice Principal for the St. Ignatius School in Belize City, Mario Rodriguez, has come forward as a nominal claimant in the case. The claim is that the government of Belize has no legal authority to intervene in the private agreement made between a teacher and the managing authority, in this case, the Catholic schools. A favorable ruling has the potential to set precedents that could affect all teachers in a similar position. The first hearing was held this morning virtually, where the government was represented by attorney Ileana Swift. The Catholic public schools were represented by attorneys Samira Pott and Melissa Balderramos Mahler. Attorney Darrell Bradley gave us further details about the claim.
Essentially, what we're saying in the claim is that this matter relates, as you have said, Paul, to the 10% reduction in the salary for teachers. And what we're arguing is that that matter wrongly includes teachers who work for denominational schools or teachers who do not work for the government of Belize. Essentially, we're saying that the government has no lawful authority to institute a wage reduction for teachers who are not their employees. So that in Belize, we have a church-state system, and there are two regimes. There are teachers who work for the government of Belize, and there are teachers who work for denominational schools, the Catholic management, the Methodist management, the Anglican management. And essentially what we're saying is that those persons, their employers are these denominations. And these denominations have a written contract, that's a fixed term contract with these teachers. And so the government of Belize has no lawful authority to intervene in the private employment relationship between a teacher and a managing authority. In addition, they have no lawful authority to direct the terms of a written fixed term contract. So the claimant, the lay claimant, is Mario Rodriguez, and he is the vice principal of St. Ignatius School in Belize City, and he has a written 5-year contract with the Catholic management. There is no way or no lawful authority that there could be a reduction on his wages, provided, of course, that he shows up for work and he discharges his functions as the vice principal. A unilateral reduction in wages cannot occur in those circumstances.
Representing the Belize National Teachers Union in this matter are attorneys at law Darrell Bradley and Magali Perdomo. Today, Supreme Court Justice Westman James handed down a decision in the case brought against the Belize Police Department by Greg Nunes and myself. Legal recourse was sought after we felt that our rights had been violated because without any probable cause or intelligence to suggest that we were involved in any criminal activity, police officers took our pictures during a stop and search in August 4th of 2020 that yielded nothing. The judge ruled that it is unconstitutional.
They brought their claim on the grounds that this practice actually constitutes a violation of their right to protection against arbitrary searches, their right to privacy through the taking of the photographs, as well as the right to human dignity. And today we got the decision from Justice Westman James confirming the claims of the claimants that indeed the practice does constitute violations of their rights under the Constitution.
I don't necessarily feel vindicated because I've always known that the stop and search and the taking of photograph constitutes an unlawful act, a measure by the police department. I've always known that, and it has been well ventilated within the media as well as in certain public domains. Every corner that you go, you obviously see a police trooper just randomly have a group of young men or men at all just string up, they get their photographs taken, and you could just. It's so easy to see that there is no real justification or reasonable cause for that search. So my experience of it, especially the level of aggression that was involved in my case, where the police officers seemed to feel as though there was a level of impunity to berate me the way he wanted to overlook my request for his name. And there were subsequent attempts at the police station to get his name, resulted in his belligerent behavior. So those things to me were important issues that I think needed to be addressed.
But does the ruling now set precedents for stop and search? Attorney Leslie Mendez, who represented the claimants in the case, says that the decision should provide critical guidance to the police department in conducting legal searches. While she says that by law, the police are allowed to conduct stop and searches, the violation is when a person's picture is taken when he has done nothing wrong.
The message here is one to the government, one to the ministry, one to the minister, one to the department. The message of the case is one for them, not on us. Right? It's not on us to fix the department. Right? Of course, we have to have better, we should also be thinking about ways in which we can support persons and our fellow citizens better when they are assaulted, when one of their rights are violated. Absolutely. But the message here is that if it is that the ministry, that the police, that if the ministry or the police department or this government as a whole values the rule of law, then they would take this decision, they would take it under serious consideration, and they would consider and implement changes that would prevent this from recurring. Right? You don't necessarily, the fix here is not to get 100 claims before the court. Right? That should not be the position. The point of the case is really to highlight, to the government and to the department that this has happened and that this happens and that this is the legal standard and that these are your legal obligations, and so you should implement it from a systemic position.
The court awarded damages to the claimants. Just ahead, Darrell Bradley speaks about his changing political fortunes after the UDP recall convention. How does he feel about Patrick Faber? Find out when we come back. But first, here is a weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
We all know the importance of running water and proper drainage in your home. That's why we rely on a fully functional plumbing system. At Benny's, we have all the plumbing supplies and accessories you need. Our pipes, fittings, valves, and adapters are made from durable quality materials. Remember to wash your hands with clean running water from your faucet. We have kitchen and bathroom faucets in various styles and finishes. Whether for installation or maintenance, make sure to use recommended PVC cleaner, solvent, and Teflon tape to fix or prevent leaks. We also have the tools to get the job done. For all your residential, commercial, or industrial plumbing needs, shop at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Why should you wear your mask? To protect myself. My friends. My family and others. I wear my mask because I love my grandparents. With so many reasons to wear a mask, we continue to advise persons to wear a face mask properly, covering both nose and mouth. Together, we can keep Belize COVID-19 safe.
Why, Tony? Boy, kid, what you going on, man?
I actually come see you because I need to buy a stack of them plastic plates and cups for my grocery shop because I run low.
Boy, I stopped importing things since April 15th, you know. And I just routed the last batch, must be about like 3 weeks back, you know.
Man, do I usually have anything? What is going on?
Check this, right? Under the new law, we ban all single-use plastics, so that the cups, plates, forks, spoons, and knives, all of that. Since April 15th, can't import none of them. Starting January 15, 2021, you can't manufacture them. April 15, 2021, you can't sell them. And after July 14, 2021, if you get catch with any other thing, you will get fined.
Me never know this. I guess I have to make some changes then. I have to make the customers know that anything not available. Anyways, bro. Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Take care.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800-A-WAY-OUT or our cell phone number, 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Earlier today, we asked Darrell Bradley for a comment on the results of the July 11th UDP Recall Convention at the Bird's Eye. Bradley, now a UDP senator, was being positioned to become a candidate at a National Party Leader Convention if Patrick Farber was unsuccessful. Bradley has publicly stated that he is of the view that Farber is not the strongest leader for the party at this time. This afternoon, he told us that he maintains that position, and while the party wants change, it will be done peacefully and respectfully.
Yes, we have the recall mechanism. The Honorable Patrick Farber won that recall, and he remains the leader of the United Democratic Party. But it is, how do we deliver good governance? How do we position the United Democratic Party to have a strong party platform so that we're talking about poverty reduction and economic development, job creation, and moving the country of Belize forward? And that remains my dilemma. I have no difficulty with the Honorable Patrick Farber. I am a supporter of the United Democratic Party, but I want the United Democratic Party to reform and to change and to adopt policies and personalities that will ensure that the party is seen as a credible alternative to the governing People's United Democratic Party.
You have stated publicly that it is your opinion that he is not the strongest leader to lead the party forward. Is that still your position?
That is still my position, and I do agree with the view that that position shared by me. It's nothing against the Honorable Patrick Farber, but if you are going in any competition, if you are running a race, if you are dealing with softball or anything, you want to put your strongest pitcher forward. You want to ensure that you have a team that can resonate with the public, that can inspire change and credibility and confidence. And I just don't think under the current configurations, the United Democratic Party has put forward its best.
While your hopes to become leader may have been dashed after that Sunday recall convention, does that hope still live for future tense?
Well, I wouldn't say that there was a hope, because there is no vacancy, and there was no vacancy for leader of the United Democratic Party. The recall mechanism had to go through first. And there is a leader, while the results went in a way which I believe that the majority of the party didn't want, he remains the leader. We are a party of due process and of laws. We follow the law. There's a certain outcome in there. We all may not be happy with the outcome, but we have to live with the outcome. And we want change, but we will move for change in a peaceful and respectful manner.
As students get ready to fully return to face-to-face learning in the upcoming school year, the Ministry of Health and Wellness and UNICEF partnered to provide 29 hand-washing basins to rural primary schools in Toledo. Hand-washing remains the primary line of defense against illness, especially for students too young to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The Ministry of Health and Wellness continues to partner with organizations like UNICEF in the fight to keep all Belizeans safe from the virus. The hand-washing stations were handed over on Friday at the Punta Gorda Community Hospital. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Brighton Codd. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.